I'm going to skip it out on the exact side.
Please begin with a pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, by notice, we'll proceed with the civility and decorum listed on your sheet. At this point in time, could we have a roll call?
Mr. Chrisman?
Here.
Mr. Fedorcha?
Here.
Ms. France? Here. Ms. Husak? Here. Mr. Kern?
I made it.
Ms. Culp?
Here.
Ms. Snyder?
Here.
Ms. Williams?
Here.
Mr. Green?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you very much. Any public comments tonight?
Nothing on the agenda item topics.
Okay, thank you. An executive session will be held immediately following this meeting. We have year-end assignments and personnel items to talk about, so we'll be doing that immediately upon adjournment of this meeting. Okay, you've all reserved a special board meeting held on May 30th. Is there a motion to approve that?
So moved. Second.
Motion, is there a second?
Second.
Gary, yeah,
Chrisman did.
Mr. Chrisman.
Mr. Chrisman did.
okay. Any discussion or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no? And so ordered. Okay, the moment you're all been waiting for. I'm gonna turn it.
Slides.
Sure.
Okay, this evening will be our last presentation of the proposed final budget. Looking for the board to vote and approve a budget for the 24-25 school year. This was about 3 months worth of presentations culminating this evening. So, Mr. Hill, if you can go to the next slide, please. Okay, so this evening here, the June 10th board meeting, we received direction from the school board to include these reoccurring costs, an additional full-time ELDP teacher based on enrollment of our multi-language speakers, the new theater program budget, the new music program budget, and then also keeping in mind that we're anticipating $20,000 in theater program revenue because of how the arrangements would work with the new system moving forward and us supporting the theater more directly, but also getting the take at the door for any ticket sales. Next budget, please. Next slide, please. And then here's the list of one-time purchases for the assigned fund balance and the assigned fund balance future needs. Everything is in here that we were directed to leave in at the end of last school board meeting. So it has the technology upgrades, the debt service payments, the curriculum needs, that ELA program, and the feasibility study, as well as the PSERS increases. Those were all recommended to be included in the budget since the early iterations of this process. More recently, we added in the high school dishwasher, which would be a net cost to us of $10,250, keeping in mind that the food services department, through their budget surplus, would have put towards that $67,000, a little over $67,000. Middle school steamer, Peter School dishwasher, the sound system upgrades, and then the stage rigging replacement for the high school auditorium. We've also included the 2 digital marquees. So the total fund balance usage for everything on that slide would be a little over $871,000. Next slide, please.
All right. So this is ending our estimated fund balance. I'm still thinking we're probably going to put somewhere around $800,000 back into fund balance. So if we do, our ending fund balance at the end of June 30th of 2024 would be $16,871,000 and change. The entire yellow area, which is our assigned fund balance, that $826,139 and the $45,000, that totals the $871,139 from the prior slide that we just said is everything that we're looking to come out of fund balance. So all of that would be taken out of fund balance, part of fund balance, and then it would next year, our fund balance would decrease then by that $871,000.
Excuse me,
Sure.
I thought you just said we were gonna put 800 and some thousand back into fund balance from this year's budget.
Correct. So our original fund balance right now is just over $16 million, and I'm estimating ending June 30th at about $16,871.
Okay, I didn't see it in there, that's all.
Yeah, it's up the
Oh,
top.
I'm sorry.
Yep, that's okay.
Oh, I couldn't read that.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's okay.
Angle.
No problem,
Thank
no
you.
problem. Next slide, please, Mr. Hill. So what our current expenditures and revenues look like. So right now, our current expenditures total $40,324,052, and our total revenues are $38,786,129. That does not include a tax increase at all. That is just straight funding with the straight taxes that we would have received last year. Budget shortfall right now then is $1,537,923, and again, $871,000 is going to come off. You'll see that in the next slide for those one-time fund balance purchases. Next slide, please, Mr. Hill. So again, here's the breakdown. You have the expenses of $40,324,052. You've got revenues that total $38,786,129. And then we want to use $871,139 in fund balance. So once we offset those revenues to our expenditures, our budget is still shortfall of $666,784. I have also included in this slide now the percentage of tax increase, so you can then see how much revenue we'd be receiving based on where the board would decide if they choose to do a tax increase. And then the shortfall would be on the far right column. That's how much money we would need to take out of fund balance, or again, we have about $440,000 of potential basic ed revenue that is not in the budget currently because we don't know where the budget's going to fall with the state at this point in time. And just as a reference, once we use that $871,139 out of our original fund balance, where I anticipate we're going to end, we're still going to have just over $16 million left in our fund balance at the end of the 24-25 school year. Next slide, please, Mr. Hill. Again, we've looked at this a couple of times. This is the additional relief that taxpayers will be receiving in their tax bills this year. It is roughly $73.17. Depending upon where the board chooses to do a tax increase, will determine where that additional relief will fall. It will not go as high as $74, and it won't fall below $73, so you're in that $73 to $74 range. Next slide, please, Mr. Hill. So again, this is a slide that we have shared with you before. This is our median assessed home values in Lehigh County at $150,850. So depending upon which the board would decide to do, if they decide to do a tax increase, 2% for Lehigh County would be an increase in $76 to somebody who has a median assessed home value at $158.50. That does not include the additional tax break that they're going to see now with that $73. So that $73 additional dollars is going to come off of their bill. They're actually going to see like a $3 tax increase this year. Northampton County, because of the way STEPS falls from year to year, it just happens to be the year where Northampton County had more home sales, so assessed values went up in that area. Their increase in their tax bill is larger than it is for Lehigh County. And that swings and fluctuates every year based on STEP ratio, and STEBS falls 2 years behind. So right now we're using the 2022 STEBS data. So obviously in 2022, Northampton County had a more turnover in homes and assessed values on their properties. Next slide, please, Mr. Hill.
So our administrative recommendations have not changed since June 10th. Include the new recommendations as directed by the school board on June 10th as far as one-time purchases and reoccurring costs, utilization for fund balance for one-time purchases and the PSERS increases. Again, consider a tax increase in conjunction with utilization of fund balance. Continue to look for grant revenue opportunities to fund positions such as a school police officer and social worker. and continue to search for expenditure savings. And we'll open it up this time for questions and comments from the school board.
Comments, anyone? Anyone's thoughts changed from the last time we were here? You want to add anything, subtract anything,
Do
do anything?
we have a separate slide again of the recurring expenses that we took on from ESSER, that are ESSER funded positions? Do we have that?
That is slide.
Slide 9.
Slide 29.
Oh, okay. No, this one, slide 9, right? 474, 200. For all the positions that we're keeping, is that what you're asking for?
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Hill, can you go to slide 9, please?
Yeah, he's there. You were there, Mr. Hill.
Now, do we have another slide that has monetary values to these positions?
Well, right there it is. Total
Oh.
cost efforts
You're
retained is 474, 200.
And that's for all of the above.
It's for, no, the first two, they say that they were eliminated through attrition, and the third one was also eliminated through attrition.
Okay.
So it's just the district-wide ELDP paraeducator, the classroom teacher, the TIS position, and the administrator. Those are the 4 positions.
Okay.
Does that number include benefits sharing, or it's not just
Yes,
salary?
yes, that is benefits.
And all of those positions under the recommend to retain, from there down, those were previously funded by ESSERS, and now we are going to actually fund it through our own budget. Is that correct?
That is correct. That's the recommendation from administration. We believe at each one of those positions is absolutely critical to the work that we're doing here in the district to support students and staff.
So technically, we're looking almost at $500,000. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
The administrator position, what position was that?
That is the Director of Educational Technology, Curriculum, and Instruction.
Okay.
Administrators, Administrator 1.
Mhm.
The only comment I have to make is something I believe I did make during the ESSERS money, and I know that's always a problem that we face when we have money coming in either through some kind of funding or grants that has a termination time to it, that we are going to have to pick that up in our budget. I'm hoping this board, if we're still here around, and that those items come up again, that we rethink that kind of attitude. I know they were needed. I know it was great to put it in. It sounded good for 3 years. Now we're paying the price. Personally, I had a long discussion with Dr. Link today because of some concerns I have, and I will say that at this point, I believe the positions do have a direct position to student functionings and student scoring and so forth. So I certainly don't want to take anything away. Let me put it that way. That's going to hurt. I'm just, again, hesitant to ever again look at that kind of money being used up front. My comment alone. Thank you.
I understand where Gary's coming from, and I think part of the concern is that's now going to be going on every year.
And increase.
Increase, yeah, so it's not just this budget, it's every budget is going to be including that. That's a lot of, it's a big chunk.
Any other comments or questions? I'm looking right now if anything has any down there.
Yeah, I just got one more. I mean, so obviously, it's no secret, our economy's not the best still. We're still facing some ups and downs, lots of uncertainties. Things are elevated pretty much everywhere for everything. And looking at the pros and cons, I know we talked about this back and forth in detail multiple times. Me personally, right or wrong, whatever the case may be, I support probably 95% of that list up there. I think if I were to have to take a vote, I would vote to eliminate the administrator position and keep the rest. Would be my suggestion for this year's budget. Just trying to be smart about our budget and trying to be fiscally responsible. That's just my personal opinion.
Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna look left. Comments from this side? Anything? Anyone else? Anywhere? No? Okay.
I understand, sorry, Darren. I understand where he's coming from, only because it's a big chunk of change. I realize we are improving in the district technology-wise, and I want to see those improvements come to fruition, I guess is what I'm looking for. So, you know, we can talk data all we want, but I just want to see some results. And frankly, if we aren't seeing results next year, Matt, I'm going to have a hard time approving that position for next year if we don't see some changes in this coming school year. I realize we can't change everything, but we can't keep going the way we've been. We've got to be able to move our scores up. I'm just being honest with you.
I would have to agree with Don on that one.
Okay. Are there any other comments? Anyone? Last chance. Okay, if not, we have an item on the agenda, and that is the recommendation of the administration to adopt a general fund final budget in the amount of $40,324,052. The first thing we need to do is, are we going to approve the budget at that amount? And I think that includes adding those one-time and ongoing things that are coming out. Okay, and then, once we've done that, then we've got to come down to part one, okay? Make this a two-step process. And then, do you want to increase taxes at all to offset those expenditures that we're taking from the fund balance? And if so, what percentage would that be? So if we approve the budget first, and there's no amendments or additions or corrections, we'll do that, and then we'll look at a possible tax increase to offset the money's coming out of the fund balance. Everybody together on that? Yes? Okay, so let's start with a motion. Item A, to approve the $40 million budget.
So moved.
Have a motion?
Second.
And a second? Okay, for the last time, any questions, additions, corrections? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving it, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no?
No.
Roll call?
Mr. Fedorcha,
Yes.
Ms. France,
Yes.
Ms. Husak, yes. Mr. Kern,
Yes.
Ms. Culp,
Yes.
Ms. Snyder,
Yes.
Ms. Williams,
Yes.
Mr. Chrisman,
No.
Mr. Green.
Yes.
It passes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to 1.
8 to 1.
Okay, so that is approved. So we now have a $40 million budget. Now let's figure out how we're going to fund it. Does anybody want to raise taxes? And if so, how much in order to do that?
I'd like to make a motion.
Nothing?
0%.
0%. Okay. Is there a second to that motion?
A second.
A second, okay. Discussion or questions? So you want to take the entire amount out of fund balance?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna stand firm on that. I voted no for the administrator as well, just for monetary purposes. And I'm also proposing a 0% because I think we're in a position where we can afford to pay for the things that we need to out of fund while not putting ourselves in a problematic situation and also helping out our homeowner taxpayer base, which we are 95% funded by. So I think we owe them one.
Okay, any other comments? All those in favor of approving the budget with a 0% increase, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no?
No.
Roll call?
Ms. Franz?
No.
Ms. Husak? No. Mr. Kern?
No.
Ms. Culp?
Yes.
Ms. Snyder?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Chrisman?
Yes.
Mr. Fedorcha?
No.
Mr. Green?
Yes. Oh, no, I'm a no, I'm sorry. I'm a no.
Jeez.
I was writing down and I did that wrong.
1, 2, 3, 4 yeses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 noes. It does not pass.
Does not pass at this point in time. Okay, are there any other suggestions or recommendations for a tax increase?
I just want to make a comment. I still think that the state is going to come through with money like we did this past year. We got a fair amount that we were not expecting. And I just think that's going to come on through. And I think, like Chad said, things are tight. I'm not saying we shouldn't increase the taxes, but we shouldn't if we don't have to. It's a need versus a want, is where my perspective is from. That's all.
Thank you.
With that said, I don't want to see us raising taxes either, but I do know that in the past, we spent a few years at zero, and pardon the expression, it really bit us in the butt after a period of time. I'm not happy about some of the things that are in there, but I also know that I do not like to bring the fund balance down any more than we really have to. So I would like to move at 2%, Mr. Green.
Motion for 2% increase. Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second.
Thank you. Discussion on a 2% increase? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no?
No.
Roll call?
Ms. Husak? Yes. Mr. Kern?
Yes.
Ms. Culp?
Yes.
Ms. Snyder?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
No.
Mr. Chrisman?
No.
Mr. Fedorcha?
Yes.
Ms. Franz?
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes.
Mr. Green?
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 yeses, 2 noes.
7 to 2.
Passes at 2%.
Okay. Having said that, we would ask our business manager to kind of fill in the numbers there under item 1.
Sure. Lehigh County millage rate will be 25.3731 or $2.53731 per $100 of assessed value. Northampton County millage rate will be 75.6628, which is $7.56628 per $100 of assessed value.
Would you repeat the?
Sure.
Yes, per 100 of the Lehigh County.
Of the Lehigh County Shore, it's 2.53731.
How about the number right before that, Sherry, the millage rate?
Sure, it's 25.3731.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
So on a scale of per 100,000 per assessed value of the average value, how much per year? Like we did a slide before where it said 2% would be
Yep.
$5 or $8, whatever it is.
Yep, so per every $100 of assessed value is $2.53731 for Lehigh County. But Eric, Mr. Hill, if you can please go to, you got it? Yeah.
Slide 43, please.
So at 2% in Lehigh County, last year's tax bill was $3,750.96. This year it'll be $3,827.53, an increase of $76. And again, that does not include the homestead, farmstead coming off of that. And then for Northampton County, it was 332129. Next year it's 349940.
So Lehigh, you're looking at about $2 in Northampton County.
About 100.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions or discussion on the numbers? You all the numbers? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no? And so ordered. I guess we could have done this, but I didn't. 2 and 3 at the same time. Way to go, Matt. So we're looking at item 2, which we did approve 3, and then approving the Homestead Farmhead resolution, which is in front of you here at the table. Is there a motion to approve those items?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. And so ordered. We got a whole bunch of personnel items there, starting with item A and going down to item I. Is there a motion to approve those items?
So moved.
Second.
A second. Any questions? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. And so ordered. And I understand that we have Miss E. She's not listening to me. We have Miss E in our audience, is that right? Yeah. Welcome aboard, Alice.
Congratulations, Maddie. Welcome to Northern Lehigh School District. We're happy to have you join our team here.
You didn't know you were mad at me, did you?
No, I didn't, yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay, you'll be never known, yeah.
Welcome.
She's gonna be in your building, right? Is that what she's doing? Well, Sladen Elementary.
Slatington.
Okay. Okay, curriculum and instruction, is there a motion to approve that item?
So moved.
Motion, is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any questions? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. So ordered. We got a couple items that are financial there, A, B, C. Is there a motion to approve the financial items?
So moved.
Got Rhonda?
Yep.
Thank you. Second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Bob. Any questions on those items? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. And so ordered. Any yes? What do we recognize? One? No? No? Yes? Okay. Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor of adjourning, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. And we're finished. So.